Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Welcome to the Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's the Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
We're so glad that you could be with us. We look forward to introducing you to some really cool people here in Louisiana, all across the state, doing big things and trying to just love their neighbor. Right here from the Partners One studio with Pelican Broadcasting, Talk 107.3 FM, and KWLA 103.1, all talk all the time.
That's what you are, right?
And we are too.
We all talk all the time. Mm-hmm.
That's
especially
right.
when you've had some coffee and cocktails.
That's right. You're having coffee. I'm having a cocktail.
Either way.
It's our time together and I always enjoy it. And so we're really excited to bring to you some really tasty treats, some people with some very good taste, and some things that you'll want to jump into. We're going to start in a minute with our friend and chef. We're going to tell you all about Francis Fenerty and his historical dive into Bayou Smokehouse Barbecue, and that's actually where our studio is located on Coursey Boulevard at 10655 Coursey. And let me tell you, they got some good things cooking and smoking.
And you know what? So now you can come and see the show live.
That's right.
And eat some barbecue and drink some cocktails.
Two busy blondes and barbecue. What could be better, right?
Is that right?
I couldn't say it better than myself.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, we're going to let you say a little something here in a minute,
I can't
for
wait
sure.
to tell you what I'm about then.
Good.
And we're also going to be talking with Katina Summers. She is leading the Young Women's Initiative through the Louisiana Federation of Republican Women. They are doing a full-blown campaign on trying to get young women involved and educated in the political process, but also to make sure that these women understand every single thing that happens in the State House and the city councils are affecting your wallet. So that's a really important topic for young women especially to be involved in, and Katina is leading that.
Yeah, and then it is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month, and we have Dr. Larissa Sweeny with Mary Bird Perkins Our Lady of Lake Cancer Center here to talk to us about that up in our medical segment.
Mm-hmm. That's a subject near and dear to my heart.
It sure is.
It is. And then we are going to have Cliff and Vicky Melius. You might remember Cliff Melius from last week. He came and he talked about the amazing things happening at the state parks, particularly the Bogachitta State Park, with the South's premier mountain biking trail being opened here soon. However, his wife is going to join us, and they've been involved with Dreams Come True Louisiana for a number of years in different volunteer positions, and they've got some events they want to tell us about because we want to help terminally ill children get their dreams to come true and make wonderful memories for their family. So it's a happy story, not a sad story.
That sounds good, but my dream come true is going to be eating some barbecue tonight.
Oh, I know.
And yes, and it's always exciting to talk with the chef.
The chef.
Everybody loves talking to the chef. That's why I love touching tables when I get some time to go out there.
I know.
Well,
I know
Chef
because
Because always,
Fenerty.
everybody has an opinion on how they do their barbecue. Trust me, I get it all
Barbecue
the time.
is a tough topic, isn't it? Because everybody has an opinion.
Because it's always everybody's backyard hobby, right?
Right.
Especially, the man of the family.
The men in the family.
And there's different types of barbecue too.
Of course there
Is
are.
it
I mean,
this style
barbecue is
barbecue? Is this style barbecue? Is it that style? There's so many kinds of barbecue.
And that's why, I'm trying to bring some of what the Southern Bible Belt region of good barbecue is to Louisiana, because it seems like in our Bible Belt, Louisiana always seems to get skipped with barbecue.
Why is that?
I don't know. But you know what? I am trying to
Because we
bring...
got some good barbecue down here.
I think
Why would
so.
we get skipped?
I just think in Baton Rouge, it's gotten skipped because everybody uses gas. And I think we need to get down to the roots and just use wood.
That's
Harlem
right.
charcoal.
Smoke something good.
And what something Louisiana is really good for is good pecan wood, right? We all love pecan barbecue in Louisiana. That's like our staple. You know, in Texas, they use their par oak and their hickory and the mesquite. Why, they use the fruit woods out there in Georgia, you know, with the peach and the cherry trees and stuff like that. So that's what makes it different. In Carolinas, they kind of do open pit. But yes, they have open pit in Texas, but they just use oak wood.
So
You
tell
sound
us
like an
about.
expert.
Tell us about.
I've been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah. How long you been doing this?
Well, I've been doing as a hobby for almost, we'll just say around 15 years.
Okay.
I'm a classically trained chef, but you know, when as young chefs, we work night crews. So you go in mid-afternoon, you're not going to get home until 1 in the morning, maybe 2. Then I got all those hours in the morning where I'm still up. I still have time to take a nap. I just figured I'd barbecue and just play around and then take a nap and go back to work. And I always told myself, if I ever get an opportunity to open up my own restaurant, I think I want to do barbecue. Because I like the roots. I love how it is like so young in our country, and it explains a lot of what America is in the red, white, and blue.
Amen.
Yeah, you said
You
it.
know?
So your name is Francis, but you go by Finn.
Everyone calls me Finn. I actually got the name actually just working in kitchens, because every time there was a project that needed to get done on the fly, they gave it to me and they said, "You're always the one that gets stuff finished. So you know what? We're going to call you Finn."
I love that.
They said my name was at the end of all the old movies. Finn.
Yeah.
You know it's going to get finished when I go and do it.
Love it.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. So Bayou Smokehouse Barbecue was actually off of Jefferson Highway.
Yeah, it's a-
previously, and now you've expanded. Now
Yeah,
you're
we were off the beaten path a little bit. It gave me enough time where I could really develop my barbecue. We were getting great ratings. I mean, we're at like 4.8 stars on all social media and, you know, those restaurant, you know, apps that we have, you know. So we're like, but we just weren't doing the numbers that we needed because no one could find us.
You were hidden away.
Yeah,
But
so I
actually-
feel like getting on this main road is really going to help us out.
But
and
actually,
still, feedback's great.
I have a friend that told me about you and said they only do lunch, they don't really do dinner, and if you don't get there before 11:30 or 12, they're sold out because they have lines out the door.
Yeah.
So you had quite a following.
Oh, yes, we did.
And then now you're expanded to lunch and dinner and
I'm trying to make it
catering.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I'm hoping the big rig I got in the back is going to be able to do it, but so far everything seems good.
Well, tell us about your barbecue saw. You mentioned the pecan wood.
Yeah.
Just take us through it.
See,
It's a lot of work. Isn't
Oh,
it?
it is.
It's not like it's something that you just, fix and it's done in
oh,
an
it's not like
hour.
something you just look up on a YouTube channel and you're just
Right.
a pit master. You
Right.
know? You know, it takes a lot to learn. I still learn every day because you're still going to learn, like, especially with weather like today, it was rainy and muggy. Now you're going to know that there's going to be a lot more oxygen in the air, so you got, work on your BTUs, make sure your temperature can still stay the same, and it also doesn't mog it down either, where it puts it out and just puts soots all over your food. So you really I'm learning every day by how you stack the wood, how you check your flow, about holding on to different parts of the smoker to see where your real heat is, where you got to put your prime meats at, where you got to put your low meats at, and it's a constant juggling.
You're making me hungry.
I know. So let's
talk
talk
foodie
about
to
the
me.
menu. Let's talk about the menu. What could people expect, and what's one of your favorite things on here?
Well,
that
my
you
favorite
make?
thing, of course, is going to be my brisket and my sausage. I make my sausage from scratch every day.
Oh man, that's one of
Wow.
my favorite.
That's
a
labor
barbecue
of
sausage.
love.
I love
Yes, it really is.
I love it.
But you know what? It really, people can tell a difference, and they
Okay.
want something that you made from scratch. I mean, the only thing that I don't make from scratch on this menu every day is our bread. I don't have the time, as you can see. I'm already, here from 5 a.m. to 2 in the morning every day. So the last thing I needed to do is worry about baking some bread. But
Your brisket is delicious. So I actually had the brisket for lunch. I had the pulled pork. Very juicy, not greasy.
No.
Very, very light. And I know some people would say, well, brisket would be heavy. No, it was very light. It was
Yeah.
delicious.
Well,
it was layers of flavor.
I think putting it on for 14 hours and wrapping it for 2 really softens up the bark. It really lets all that fat slowly caramelize and just turn into what I call beef butter. And
it's like beef
it's
butter.
beef
it
butter.
really did taste like that.
I mean,
it's really good.
if you need a fork, if you need a knife to eat my brisket, then I don't think I should have served that brisket.
Yeah, I did not
Wow.
even use a knife the entire time.
Yeah.
It was delicious. Absolutely.
So, if your husband gets hangry, You should bring him to have the party pit, right?
The party pit.
Well, the pit, it comes out with 6 ounces of all of our meats and then 2 sides. So it's a good sampler of everything we have because it comes with 3 ribs, 6 ounces of everything, and a couple pieces of chicken. So you really get to taste.
You mean 3 ribs? You mean like 3 racks?
No,
or 3 ribs?
3 rib bones.
Oh, okay.
That
For
way
the party pit?
Because it's got a whole lot of other
the party
stuff.
pack.
On the back, that's when you're getting a bunch of food.
Yeah, this is for the people. This is just for the people coming in.
Oh, I was looking on the back. I'm looking at the big stuff.
No, those are great for the weekends.
I'm just
especially when
looking
football's
for
coming
hangry-
back and
for
sporting
hangry
events. It's always
folks.
good.
You know, Kay's favorite thing to make in the kitchen is reservations. She calls up on the cell phone and says, "Hey, I need an order to go."
Yeah, I like pickup.
But that's fine. You can do that here also, guys. Go ahead. And also, if you're afraid that we're going to run out by the time you get off work, why don't you call ahead and we'll have it reserved for you. So by the time you get off work, you'll have your meat reserved for you.
I like that.
Sides are delicious. The baked beans were absolutely delicious. I love your coleslaw.
Thank you very much.
I mean, really delicious. So none of this is like prepackaged, kind of thrown together.
No.
This is all like from scratch, made
And
well,
those
delicious.
monster taters sound
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. People really enjoy
Especially
those
on a
too.
rainy day.
Yeah, and then you can get filled with all barbecue meat, even my brisket chili,
Yeah, the
that
Frito
sounds really
pie.
good.
I love Frito pie,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I don't eat it often enough. I might start eating it more now.
And
but
I'm
that's
still
what I
adding
do.
more, appetizers as it goes along, as I can find different ways to play with my barbecue. We also have a tumbleweed chicken, so it's our chicken breasts that are pulled into little strips, and and it's like a ripping chicken, but a little smoky flavor, a little pizzazz on it, and you can get it with our, house-made ranch or our barbecue sauces, which we have 3 sauces.
Oh, tell us about your sauce.
Yep.
Okay, so I make all 3 sauces in house. I have my Georgia, I have my Carolina, and of course I have my Louisiana. My Georgia is always going to be nice, subtle, sweet, traditional barbecues that everyone likes. Of course it has a base of vinegar, but it's all cooked down with the brown sugar to sweeten it up. It adds those nice little tones to it. And of course our Louisiana, I sweetened it up, but I threw some spice in there, just what Louisiana always wants, just a little bit of
right.
kick.
We always need a little kick.
And then, of course, for those people that are real, Carolina, maybe Missouri, enthusiasts that really like having a vinegar base, I spiced up a nice apple cider vinegar that goes really well on, let's say, a pulled pork sandwich with like coleslaw on top.
Yeah. Well, you need to
good.
come to Bayou Smokehouse Barbecue at 10655 Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or call ahead. We want to make sure that you can call ahead. Their number is 831 9336.
on,
I know,
Betsy.
9336. And we want to make sure that you come see Chef Finn and say, I want you to get my dinner finished. I want you to pack it up for me, load it in
You
the
got
car,
it.
and take it
Yeah.
on home.
I'll get her done.
Well, that's
And I want you to make something called crazy sauce. I'm going to tell you a little secret story about that
okay.
later. So,
And we'll be right back with Katina Summers with the Young Women's Initiative about getting young women informed in the political process. Stay tuned. Hang tight.
Thank you, guys.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing LFRW region1VP@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks, we're ready for your adventure.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques, including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
Back to Rocket Right. I am Hurricane Betsy Barnes in the house with Dr. K. Solar. We're actually in the House of Barbecue.
The House of Barbecue.
We're in the Bayou Smokehouse Barbecue and the Pelican One studio here in beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we are so glad to introduce you to some people that need an introduction because you may not meet them in your everyday life. We're really blessed that we meet some amazing people in our everyday life. But when you're so busy doing what you're doing, sometimes you don't have a chance to kind of get out of the box and see some people that might resonate with your beliefs or with some of your viewpoints. And so we wanted to introduce you to Katina Summers. Katina is a very involved professional woman who has been inspired to start a young women's initiative through the Louisiana Federation of Republican Women. And you will be seeing many more commercials and initiatives to get women who are conservative and moderates in their political viewpoint involved in the political process. So thank you so much for making time to come.
Thank you for having me.
You're kind of busy.
A little busy.
You're kind of busy. So Katina is also a CPA and a financial advisor. So she knows more than anyone, or more than all, a little more than all of us, what goes on in the Capitol, what goes on in city council meetings, what goes on local and statewide and national levels affects people's pocketbooks.
Absolutely.
So,
throughout my career, I've always either dealing with taxes or now with the financial advising, helping people with retirement plans. I understand that the policies that our politicians make do have a huge impact on our lives. And so for me, it's not okay to just sit at home and not, be active and say something about it.
Sure. Now, what made you decide to, first of all, be involved yourself and then decide that you wanted to help other young women, a voting age, maybe a little younger on up, get involved and understand what's really going on?
I think it comes to, just thinking about comparing myself to my friends. We all very busy, obviously, wake up in the morning, you're dealing with kids, work, husband, dogs, cleaning house maybe sometimes. And no one makes time for getting involved in these policies that are going to change the future for our children.
That's right.
And so for me, it was definitely all about my son first, making.
And how old is he now?
He's 6.
Yeah.
Baseball star too. Yeah. But so that's kind of, it's just, again, I'm the only one probably out of my close ring of friends that is so involved, and they admire what I do, and they admire my voice that I have for them. But it is hard to get their attention or just to realize that we need to spend time and getting involved.
It's so busy. It's so easy to get caught up in your day-to-day life and the things that you have to do and not focus on the things that you need to do to kind of help protect your future.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And you're in St. Charles Parish.
Yes.
So you're the president of the St. Charles Parish Republican Women.
Yes.
And you also are on the board of Louisiana Federation of Republican Women.
Yes, and I'm also the chairwoman of our RPEC in St. Charles Parish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that you've done is you've gotten yourself informed about what's really going on, because what we get in the news is a snippet of one side or another, often one side, not maybe, because I remember back in the day, 30 years ago, there was more objective journalism, and now it's kind of been sensationalized. And so a lot of younger women don't understand that the decisions made now might not affect you for a couple of years, but then they're going to affect your pocketbook 3 or 4 years from now.
Yes, absolutely. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said something about AOC, and she said, "Who?" I was like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ!" That's the kind of things that young women don't even watch the news, or they don't want to bother with national politics because it is a little stressful.
Well, how do you vote or make an informed decision if you don't understand both sides?
Right.
You might resonate with one side or another, or you might be right in the middle. Over 800,000 people in the state of Louisiana are no party or independent. They don't want to be aligned. So how, if you're a moderate or you lean more fiscally conservative, meaning you want a smaller government, how do you make a decision if you're a young woman who no one's ever shared it with?
Right.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part, definitely. To me, it's all about God, guns, and babies. I keep it simple. I follow those 3 things, and I stay watching those issues the most. And then, of course, education and taxes. That all comes into play with making my decisions on the reasons why I feel the way I feel.
So you want the Constitution, the freedom of speech, and freedom of worship to be intact?
Yes, absolutely.
You want the Second Amendment and people able to protect themselves intact?
Absolutely.
And you want smaller rather than larger government?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you don't want the government to tell you what you can do and not do in your own home?
No, I work too hard. I don't need all of that. I do fine on my own.
Yeah. So people don't realize that 30 to 38% of all money they make is going to the government in one entity or another.
Right. And that definitely bothers me, definitely with my background, because it doesn't make sense to me how, especially as a working woman, this career, my career choice, has not, it didn't happen overnight. And so I've built it, and I've worked very hard to make the income that I am making for my family. And so I don't think it's okay to give the government all my money for them just to waste it.
Right. So you just want someone to take care of it, just to be careful with it.
Absolutely. I believe we have to pay some taxes, but just limited.
Sure. And then we've gone through such a devastating time in 2020.
Yes.
It was so odd. We all thought it was going to be the beginning of this wonderful, great decade of prosperity, and that didn't happen.
No.
But, when you talk about, let's say your son is now 18 and it's time to go to college, and he's going to need a student loan. Everything has changed with COVID, and then in Louisiana with the storms, right? So as a CPA and a financial advisor, what would you tell young women?
What would I tell young women as far as sending their kids to school? I think that I firmly believe that not all kids, I don't think all kids should go and run off to college if that's not what they want to do. I do believe firmly in, in trade schools and stuff like that. So that could be an option to consider if that's appropriate. I mean, going off to school at 18 could, one, waste a lot of money for all of us.
Well, and if you think about it too, one of the pieces of advice that I was given at about 18 or 20 that I did not heed was save, save, save.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I worked a couple of jobs to go through school.
Yeah.
There was no Tops. The Tops didn't exist. And so I'm telling my age here, Tops didn't exist. And there wasn't a lot of scholarships unless you were an athlete or you were really in the top, 10% of your class. And I didn't fall into that either, to be honest. So I didn't have scholarship money. So I had to work to pay for school. And you've got a lot of young women now who thought they were going to get a scholarship or thought they were going to have it easier, and they're having trouble finding a job, or they lost their job because of COVID.
Yeah, I would say just stay positive and just continue working. I don't think anything that comes easy or any government grant money that, I guess what I'm trying to say is working hard towards a goal and maybe paying your own way, you're going to appreciate it in the long run. So it always ends up with a better return.
What made you decide to do the Young Women's Initiative?
We definitely have noticed the lack of young women in our federation with LFRW. And so after Miss Wanda had won 2 years ago, our president, we kind of talked about it, and she was very excited. So we know that there are young women out there who have reached out to me. They there. So we just need to get them engaged. And once we get them engaged, like we have a new club in Franklin that just started up again, and not all, but a lot of the board members are all young women. So that is very encouraging. So they are there.
So young women just need to get informed, not necessarily, we're not pushing that they espouse to these particular views, we're pushing that they get informed.
Informed.
And involved.
Because at the end of the day, I believe that with the information and being informed will lead them to me at the LFRW.
Yeah, so a couple of statistics that are kind of important for people to know, and especially if you're a young person and you're watching this, you might not know that you have 4.65 million people living in this state with you. That's a lot of people. 1.73 million households are in our state. 51% are female of the people that live in Louisiana. 55% are older than 16 years old and are currently in our workforce. So that's over half of our state. 16 or older is in the workforce. That means you're going to get taxed, just to let you know. Okay, and here's a statistic, young ladies and young gentlemen, that is important, I think. It shocked me. 59.25% of all children born in Louisiana are going to be born to single parents. That means single income households. That means you need to get smart with your money, right?
Absolutely smart with your money and education.
We're moms. We paid for school. It's an investment. Get busy, get educated, get involved, get informed, and that's really, really important. And there's 151,000 women-owned businesses in Louisiana. So I'd love to know the stat on how many young women are opening businesses, because there's never been a better time to open a business if you're a young woman with all the PPP dollars and everything else with COVID. If you can do it. If you've got a great idea, do it, ladies. Kay and I are in business. We have a show. We have a TV and radio show. Katina's in business. We're in business for ourselves. There's a reason that we're in business. We do a lot of different things, and we want to make it work. And so, as an entrepreneur, the work-life balance, that's tough. Laws about human trafficking. Kay is an OBGYN. You've seen it.
And I heard that it is really pretty rampant. In Louisiana, because we have the I-10 corridor going right down here, and I didn't realize that we were such a hot spot.
Those are just a few of the topics.
And that also means that women need to be very careful, and you always need to be aware of your surroundings.
Right. That's right. So you need to be really contacting Katina. And so if you would please contact her at LFRW Region 1 VP at gmail.com. Tell them your phone number real quick.
504 382-3474.
And just give her a call and get a little more information, and we'll be right back with Rock It Right, and we're going to be talking about cancer
Head and
and some
neck
things,
cancer
head and
awareness
neck
month.
cancer, some of the things that you need to be aware of and look for. We'll be right back.
My biggest concern was my family and being able to see me come home every day and know everything is going to be okay. I felt comfortable that I was being treated by some of the best. There were some scary points along the way, but it's just kind of like been a little blip in the road.
Money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. K. Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
Everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics.
health,
Music and entertainment.
local agnet.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Cade Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you're interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Cade Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen and Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrwregion1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
Rocket Right Show, and I'm Dr. K. Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and our medical segment is brought to you each week by Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, and today we're really excited to have with us Dr. Larissa Sweeny. Thank you for joining us. She is an otolaryngologist at Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, and you're here because April is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month. You know, we always have these different awareness months. We try to highlight
We're
things.
very aware.
We're very aware, yeah. And but let's just start with the basics and just tell folks about that disease. It's kind of hard to do, isn't it? Because it's so broad.
It is broad. So head and neck cancer encompasses anything above the clavicles, these little bones right here. And so it can be cancer of the skin, it can be cancer of the lining of the throat, of the lips, of the thyroid, of the salivary glands. Your tonsils can get cancer in them, the back of your tongue, voice box. So there's a lot of different anatomical sites that have different important functions, so it is pretty broad.
Right, and of course, there's a lot of different anatomical sites, but when we're talking about early detection being the key with all cancers, I mean, are there some early signs and symptoms that you look for in general for head and neck cancers, or do you have to be more specific for the different types that you're thinking about?
So that's a great question. It does kind of depend. Some patients, the lucky ones who present with a neck mass, a lump or a bump, or a sore or scratchy throat, or some ear pain that kind of gives them an indication that something's growing, those are the ones that we are able to detect early. Some people will have voice changes, and then every once in a while someone will have a cancer growing back there and have absolutely no symptoms.
So how do they detect that? When there's something growing back there and they have no symptoms, of course, eventually they would have some symptoms, so it wouldn't be early detection, but is that something that would be generally picked up if they were going for their annual checkup with their physician?
Perhaps the physician might note maybe a subtle change in their neck, a lymph node that seemed a little bit larger, or if they were getting scans or imaging for some other reason, or if they start getting some weight loss or some other symptoms that might tip them off to start looking.
Or maybe a dentist might notice something in their mouth or
that's
something
great.
like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Another reason to be going to get those dental checkups as well. So what are some of the causes of head and neck cancer? I mean, right off the bat, people think about smoking because that's right into your lips, but
the vast majority of our patients do have a tobacco history, and tobacco is definitely found to increase your risk of getting particular type of cancer. Heavy alcohol use can be synergistic, meaning it can make the even more likely to get cancer or get a worse cancer. And then with sun damage, skin cancer is usually the result of some sort of sun damage, not always, but most of the time. And then in the past 2 decades, we've noted an increase in HPV-related cancers of the tonsil and the back of the tongue, which is a virus that actually will be dormant for many, many years and then eventually cause the cells to undergo some sort of transformation that becomes a cancer.
Right. So the human papilloma virus can just be dormant in your tonsils and then present.
Yes, so there's...
Who knew that? I did not know that.
Yeah, the tonsils in the back of the tongue have kind of these peaks and valleys. We call them crypts. And so the virus gets trapped in that crypt and can be there for many, many years. You're well familiar with HPV.
Yeah, with all the vaccinations for HPV.
Being a gynecologist, we're really familiar with HPV, human papilloma virus. And so a lot of people only think about it for gynecologic causes, but yes.
That's important for children, young adults.
Mucosal membranes.
Yeah, a couple years ago, the incidence of HPV-related head and neck cancer actually surpassed that of cervical cancer. So it's now more common than cervical cancer.
Wow. And is that because we're picking up things so early and getting precancerous cells because of Pap screening in women, and they're not getting it, you're not really screening in the oral region, and so when they happen, they're not picking up precancerous cells that are treated.
Exactly.
They're presenting with a cancer.
Correct. Yeah, we're working very hard to come up with some sort of screening mechanism like the Pap smear for the oral cavity and the oral pharynx, but the technology's just not there yet.
So knowing these risk factors, so is it possible that head and neck cancer could be prevented? I mean, granted, if you don't smoke, you're already chalking it up.
Right. If we could eliminate tobacco use, we would eliminate a large portion of our patient population. And then there's actually a couple of vaccines out. I know now everybody's very familiar with vaccines, but there's a few vaccines out for HPV that the FDA has now approved up to the age of 45. And so it prevents the most troublesome strains of the HPV virus.
Absolutely. And we're very... that was something that we were always talking to folks about. And then a lot of families go, well, why do not my kids need that? Because it starts in childhood, because they mount a better response. And you want to, just like, when they started making hepatitis B, an infant vaccine. It's not because we thought they were going to get it at that time. It was just to help eradicate it. And so you want somebody to get a vaccine before they're exposed to the virus. So same thing. If you're getting
these
those
vaccines have
schedules,
years and years of studies behind them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's been, the
Over a
HPV has
decade.
been around for a long time. It's just that they recently started up in the age.
They did.
So, and also not just for girls anymore, but for boys too, which initially it was just, for girls. So, but yeah, lots of things as always that we can do to reduce the risk for those cancers. So now let's say somebody has one. Let's talk about treatment types, and I'm sure it varies depending again on the types.
Yes, there's a wide variance of treatments, but my role would be from a surgical standpoint. So if you had a head and neck cancer that was amendable to surgery, then we would remove it surgically. And then the addition is at our cancer center, there's myself and two of my colleagues who have been trained in robotic surgery, and there's some advantages to that, and it allows us to eliminate some of the incisions and some of the morbidity that the bigger surgeries used to carry. So that's great.
Yeah, and it's amazing. People don't realize, the robotic surgery, but you can get in tight spaces and places much more cautiously and carefully than you can even with a big incision.
Yes,
and the
for sure.
recovery, I'm sure, just like if it's an abdominal surgery, is also better.
It is better. Long term, we're able to preserve some of the muscles involved with swallowing and speech, and so that allows patients to have better function long term from with the use of the robot.
Right, because you've got those, special nerves and all of that stuff, and little tiny vessels in those spaces that you are working in.
Right.
So,
correct.
So let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned the surgical part, but, you're part of the multidisciplinary team, which I think anybody who's been watching the show is familiar that there's multidisciplinary, teams that involved.
Thank goodness there are, because Mary Bird Perkins does an enormous amount of research.
It really helps with the entire care. So let's talk about that as far as your specialty area.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So because of the complexity of the head neck area and what we treat, it's really important that we do this as a team. And so we have radiation oncologists and medical oncologists, we have dentists, we have speech and swallow therapists, we have pathologists and radiologists, and then cancer navigators and coordinators, and everybody that's involved with these patients comes to our team meetings where we talk about the cases, we discuss what we think is the best treatment for these patients, both from a survival standpoint and a function standpoint, and then we make sure that all the team members involved know that this patient's coming in and are aware of them to make sure that we can streamline their care and ensure that all the boxes get ticked off and they see everybody. And nutrition is also very important. I forgot to mention them.
Sure. Right. As far as their care and recovery. So many aspects when you're looking at treating a cancer. So if somebody wants to know a lot more, let's tell them the best place to go.
Sure, there's a website, which I believe is Mary Bird Lake /head neck. And then there is a telephone number for our head neck cancer center, which is 225-765-1765.
Great. And so you were telling me before we started, you've been here in Louisiana for 2.5 years now.
Yes, that's correct.
And
you love
how
the
you
food,
liking it? How you liking
it's great. My husband and I are very much enjoying the Cajun food. And he's getting into fishing, and we're learning about the bayous and our way around. So it's been fun.
Well, you know what? We can recommend lots of places to go, things to do, and people to see.
That's
our specialty.
We love recommendations.
Yeah,
sure.
So we can help you with that. And you're from Central Florida originally.
I am, yes. I grew up in Central Florida. I've traveled.
So you're okay with the heat?
I'm okay with the heat, and the humidity. It's
right.
very humid there as well. We're just on the opposite side of the Gulf, so.
For sure.
We're so glad that you could come. We just really enjoy meeting every person that we can with Mary Bird, because they do phenomenal. I mean, they take you by the hand through every step of anything, and so we're just really blessed that you came to spend a little time with us and share what you do.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much for including me and allowing me to have this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. We've been talking with Dr. Larissa Sweeny, who is an otolaryngologist at Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. And as she said, that website is marybirdlake.org/head-and-neck. And the number is up on our screen, and we'll put it on our Facebook page as well. So y'all make sure that check out Rocket Right Entertainment on Facebook. Follow us. We'll have her interview up there in case you missed anything. And thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions about anything with cancer, you know who to call, marybirdlake.org. And we're going to be back with Cliff Melius and Vicky Melius talking about Dreams Come True, Louisiana.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques, including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Kay Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you are interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Kate Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks, we're ready for your adventure.
I had a meeting with Dr. Barfield and it kind of just hit me. It probably is cancer. After the surgery, I wasn't scared anymore. I was looking forward to getting started with chemo. Not one time did I get a nurse in a bad mood. I was here for 5 hours at a time, and I did not dread coming. To get people from around the country to come to Baton Rouge, and that says a lot right there. That this place is cutting edge.
So excited that you could be with us. You know, we want everybody's dreams to come true. And so we have our friends, Cliff and Vicky Melius here. And they've been with us before. It's been a little while, little pre-COVID y'all were here, but they have been involved for years with Dreams Come True Louisiana. And so we wanted them to come and share what they're doing to raise money to help children. And we actually have about a 3.5-minute video from the website that we're going to share after we talk with you a little bit so people understand a little bit more about Dreams Come True, and we want to support Dreams Come True. Right. So tell us a little bit about how Vicky wrangled you in.
Yeah, she sucked me into this years ago. No, Dreams Come True is a Louisiana charity for Louisiana kids, and we raise money for children with life-threatening illnesses, and whatever their dream is, we honestly do everything in our power to make it come true. Mm-hmm. She did one years ago. The child his dream was to go on a submarine, and he was paralyzed, and that is not an easy feat to find somebody who could put a child on a submarine, and she was able to work it out. The organization, everybody came together to figure out how to get this child in a submarine. The number one dream is Disney World.
Yeah.
All the kids want to go to Disney. That's a little bit slower because of the pandemic last year, but typically that is the number one dream. Our dreams are going to vary anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, and we can take an entire family with spending money, rental cars, plane tickets, and everything to Disney on that amount of money. If you've ever been to Disney, you know that's a pretty good feat.
Y'all are kind of on your way to Disney now.
Yeah. We're leaving here in a few minutes to head there for a cheer competition. But yeah, it's an absolutely amazing charity. You know, all that money that we raise stays here in Louisiana for Louisiana kids. And whenever you talk to anybody about it, everybody gets excited. Yeah. Everybody wants to come out and help. Everybody sees all these wonderful different events that we have. And we have events, a very eclectic group of events, anything from clay shoots to cooking contests to golf tournaments, you name it, we have it. And everybody comes out and we raise a lot of money to really help a lot of kids.
So if you love food, you're going to love what they do because every time there's always food. So Vicky, when you wrangled him 24 years ago, happy anniversary. They just got, they're celebrating 24 years together.
Thank you.
But when you wrangled Cliff into this, you've done so many different roles within this organization. And it's a core group, but it's also a lot of other people that come in and out to make this happen. So what are y'all doing now?
Next weekend, we're going to have a cooking contest. It's going to be a jambalaya cooking contest and also a crawfish boiling contest.
Come get your bragging rights.
So, yes. So
it's like a good old Louisiana event to me.
Right. It's going to be at Fred's on the River, and we're going to have a car show as well as we're going to have Nana Shaw play. I don't know if anyone's familiar. That's a 50s show band, 50s, 60s show band. Yep. They will be playing at 12:30. We also have Chris LeBlanc and the Zydeco Mike play at 4:30.
We love some Chris LeBlanc.
Yes.
We do. He's been on our show a bunch of times.
And we'll have a cornhole tournament. There will also be a few mini cook-offs as well, and that will be next Saturday. So we'd like everybody to come out and support and help us raise money for these children.
So if people aren't familiar, because we're heard all across South Louisiana, if you don't know where Fred's on the River is,
Google it. Yeah. I think just about everybody knows.
Okay. If you have a boat,
yes, you can
if you
get
have
there.
a bicycle, if you need to ride a horse, you can get to Fred's.
Right. For sure.
So that's always a great place to gather people, and especially now that things have kind of opened up, people aren't afraid to support different events and show up. And then I heard y'all have a sporting clay shoot.
Yes, in Maurice, Louisiana, there'll be a sporting clay shoot. That's coming up as well because Dreams Come True has a lot of support in Baton Rouge area, but we're trying to grow across the state, and they're doing a little bit better toward Lafayette in that area, so they're going to do a clay shoot, and that's very well supported as well over in Maurice, Louisiana.
And when is that?
That is May 8th.
At 7:30 a.m.
Yes.
And, I don't know about you ladies, but I think the ladies need to get out there and shoot at the clay. I am very good at
it is Mother's Day weekend.
It is Mother's Day weekend, and I'm very good at shooting a moving target. It just depends. Yeah.
What
Just
if they
saying.
serpentine bets? I guess the clays aren't going to do that.
But so, if you can cook, if you can shoot, if you want to have a good time, you need to come out with Dreams Come True.
Yes, and help us support these Louisiana children that are suffering and going through life. It's a life-changing for all their entire family.
It is. So we have a little video that we want to share with you, and we want you to see a little bit more about Dreams Come True.
My dream
But how
for
can
them was simply a
people
life
find
of
you?
happiness. When my daughters
they
were
can go to our
born,
website,
my dream for them was to finish college.
When my children were born, my only dream for them is that they remain healthy.
My name is Becky, and I work with Dreams Come True. Dreams Come True seeks out children in the state of Louisiana with life-threatening illnesses, and we grant them their dream, anything they want.
We first met in '82, and we did our first dream in March of '83. Since 1982, we have done over 700 dreams.
I'm Kelly Mendoza. I live here in Livingston, close to French Settlement. I've been married for almost 18, have 2 children inside, Logan and Lyndon, and I have 2 children in heaven. Rylan, which we lost in October, of 2012, and his womb brother, Easton, who was identical to him, was stillborn. Last summer at this time, Rylan he wasn't getting better. He wasn't turning the corner. I thought he was sick, so as his pediatrician, to have him admitted into the hospital, to have several doctors just look at him. Let's, instead of try this, go home and come back in a month. And I was just really worried. Like, I just had a feeling that his time was coming to an end. They discussed with us hospice, and we came home with hospice. And our nurse, Brittany, mentioned Dreams Come True. We met with Miss Becky and Miss Freddie, and they came and interviewed us, and we decided on this swing that we could take him outside and swing him and just create a few more memories, and that my other kids can play on it with him and after him, and it didn't arrive until the day that he talked.
And so if you want to help Dreams Come True and get involved, we want you to get involved. Dreams Come True of Louisiana, the website is DCTOFLA.com, dreamscometrueofla.com. And we're so happy that y'all could be with us, Cliff and Vicky Melius. We know that there are so many children out there that are going to have the best memories, and their families going to have the best memories because of everything that you're doing and how committed you are.
Well, thank you for having us today.
Yeah, we're really glad, and we'll have you back soon. And if you're interested, look at anything on Rock It Right Entertainment's Facebook page. And remember, if you're going to rock it, make sure you rock it right with Dreams Come True of Louisiana. We look forward to seeing you at one of their events.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Rock It Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar is brought to you by these generous sponsors. Partners One, better barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts, Advantage Health Solutions with Dr. Boyd Michael Helm, Hightower Dental Concepts with Dr. Leah Larson, City Group Hospitality including City Pork Brasserie and Bar, City Pork Catering, City Slice, City Taco, Rouge Creole, and Beau Soleil.
Talent 360 Consulting with Vicki Little. Jeff Taylor, Realtor and Forester with Whitetail Properties. The 3rd Street Songwriters Festival. Elite Chiropractic with Dr. Ron McMorris. LouisianaIsATrip.com. Take one. Thank you for making our show possible.